Today is the day, the deadline for the New York City Board of Elections to turn in the petition, objections, specifications, also known as specs. For plural.
All right.
So as you remember on our last episode, Brother Ian here signed a general objection form. And so today we're going to have him sign a specific specifications of objections form against Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio Cortez on the Working Families Party line. So once he signs this document with all the due diligence of all of her petition signatures on the Working Families Party line, I have discovered that she does not meet the requirement because a lot of her witness statements are forgeries, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to say illegible, and a few of her witness statements are actually put the wrong address for their voter registration, and a few of their signatures are forgeries, but I'm not putting that. They're illegible because people can't read them. When you check the computer, you can see that there's a pardon called in election law, permeation of fraud. So, sir, your comments and your John Hancocky.
Super. I'm glad to do this. Before we go, a lot of people don't even know what a specification or objection form is used for. Can we just sort of briefly summarize it for people?
Okay, well, you put in a general objection, right? And say, hey, I suspect something's wrong with this person's petition packet, signatures, or any kind of errors. Now, the specifications are you look at the long sheets that people sign their names are wrong, and you go line by line and say, it seems as though people went around their kitchen countertop, we call them kitchen countertop petitions, and they go around a circle with the Board of Elections voter poll and just start signing names. Fine. Sometimes on a witness statement, because you have to have a Democrat or Republican, or in this case, a Working Families Party person, witness that they've taken these signatures. Sometimes that's a forgery. Sometimes they're not a part of that political party. And you go through these documents. People pay big money, election lawyers and their teams, to do this to knock their opponents off the ballot for ballot access. But you as an individual or a party person like myself or a consultant like myself can do it too. And once we eliminate Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez off the Working Families Party line, there will be 3 party lines left in November on the ballot. And as we know, it's going to be Democrat, Republicans, and the Conservative Party, but no Working Families Party line. Now the strategy, because I'm a strategist, is to only have 3 options, and that's what actually helped us make our first Republican city council person in 40 years. When people went to go vote, they only saw 3 options as opposed to 4. And because the Bronx Conservative Party is more active than the Working Families Party line, people voted on our party line. And because of a technical process called cross ballot endorsement, party endorsement, we pushed her over the top, she wins. So we'll see if we can do it again.
Yeah, Dion, you know a lot more about the voting process than almost anybody I talk to, because you're very involved in it on the street level, and you're also running for office for New York State Senate.
Oh, yeah.
And you also know a lot of the candidates in New York. So if you don't understand this, can I simplify it for people? Someone's running for office, say Congress, and they need to get enough signatures to get their names on the ballot. And sometimes your name isn't just put on the ballot once for your party. Your name can appear twice. You could actually appear for the Democratic Republican Party, but also you could appear under a line for the Working Families Party. Is that something, am I getting close to it?
Close. Well, remember, this is a team sport. So Democrats can only sign Democrats, Republicans can only sign Republicans, Working Families Party can only sign Working Families, Conservatives, etc. So if I come to you with a Republican petition and you're a Democrat, you sign it, that's automatically fraud, illegible, that signature is tossed. So you come to the Board of Elections, I'm running for office, I need 500 signatures, but I'm turning in 700, so try to get me on. Then somebody, opposition like me comes in, I want to take a look at that. He's like, wait a minute, at least 300 of these signatures are forgeries, duplicates, missing address, and then I chop you down line by line, eliminating signature by signature, and I keep you down to like 450. So you're 50 short of your 500 requirement. Then you have to go to the Board of Elections, Commissioners meeting, and argue it out. Some people go to the next level, take it to the Supreme Court, and say, hey, this is fraud, and all kinds of stuff. And that's why election law in New York City is a very lucrative industry amongst 12 people.
Yeah, you called it around the kitchen room table. Don't some people also say that these ballot signatures come in the boiler room? Have you heard that expression?
That's something that certain Latino candidates do, if you know what I mean.
All
the
right.
poker room.
So I think this is one of the reasons why people stay out of politics. It's complicated, but anyway, that's the way it is, and that's the way it is right now. So we're going to work with it. But I hope in the future there's a lot of voter reform. So I'm signing my objection to Alexandria Ocasio being able to have her name on the Working Family. Is it called platform or
Working Families Party? So we're trying to get rid of her off that line, eliminating the line, and he just signs right here. You're good.
And it just is an attempt to diminish votes that she might get. And I hope to do that because I object to her support of the Ukraine war. I don't hear her coming out enough against securing the border. And also, additionally, we have a kind of personal experience with her. We lent her a camera before she was a congressman, helped her out with her campaign. We're right here in her district in Astoria, and she won't even come to Live 1.tv for even just 5 minutes for a 5-minute interview. And we offered, I personally offered to give all the questions in advance. We weren't trying to do a gotcha interview, and she just won't help us out. But it isn't that why I'm signing it. It's her support of the war, the slaughterhouse, as I call it, the meat grinder in Ukraine.
Yikes.
And whatnot. So there it is. There's my signature. And I hope it does something to diminish her votes and that we can find somebody better. I like AOC's passion. She's got great passion. I just don't think that she's spent enough time with people who are liberty-minded. If she wanted to do herself a favor, she should have breakfast with Ron Paul a couple of times. He's an old man, an elder man, I like to say, but maybe he could help her understand his ideas, how we can all get along better. That I like her passion, I just hate her ideas.
Yeah, but you were telling me earlier her office contacted you. Wasn't that a good thing?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, sometimes these politicians do handle some things very well. Her office just called me about 30 minutes ago, right here in the studio. But that's because they're helping me get my father's military record. He was in World War II. He's dead now. And I just wanted some guidance from a federal agency on how to get those records. And by the way, they advised me to contact the National Archives. I thought it might be you go to the military. She says that you go to the National Archives. Right. So that's what I'll do. They did tell me, though, there was a fire in the National Archives in the 1970s.
Right.
And then I may not be able to get those documents. Imagine that. The United States has important documents like that in an unprotected area, vulnerable to a fire. They had a fire in the National Archives.
If you think about it, like when I was in probate court with my aunt, there's something used to be called carbon copies. Mm-hmm. So that is possible. Nothing is foolproof. So you might want to give them a break. But I will give this. Okay. For every elected official, politician, their life's blood is constituency services. So if you could say AOC has good constituency services for a district, then that's a plus other than her national politics. But her constituency services stinks like others, then she really got to go.
Yeah, I don't think she does have good community services overall and isn't serving people well, but I do know that she's passionate and that she believes in what she stands for, although I personally think it's misguided.
Okay, well, live on TV today, actually, I'm coming from the Donald Trump rally outside District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office.
So you were there this morning.
I just ran
Donald Trump rally at Bragg's office. There's another person that we've got some connections to.
Yes.
How was it? Tell us about it.
Oh, it was great, actually. Some of my people, because mostly all the people of color know me from Blexit, New York, and you could see how the media was difficult to them, and they would bite back and stop asking stupid questions. Why don't you understand? You keep saying you don't understand why we're here. We're telling you, you refuse to understand why we support Trump at this point. You're very condescending. You're very obsessed with getting us to say certain gotcha question answers, and we won't. So it was very fun. There was a lot of pro-Israel people there. There were some Israel reporters that interviewed me and my colleagues. We had some Spanish TV there, Telemundo, Univision, one of the major outlets. Also, we had a lot of characters. It's like, you and I know in this business of activism, we have a lot of people on the fringes that come out in their costumes. We had a guy dressed up as Trump giving away chicken sandwiches.
Talk about it. Yeah, when there can be very serious events, and the guys will come out in costumes, and I know a few of them. Actually, they make it fun when
they
you get,
do. As long as they're respectful, because sometimes you have people that are very disrespectful at these things. when you're on the right side of the fence. You know, you had a lot of red hat wearers, which is fine. You have your Make America Great Again. Have my guys with their pro-Trump flags, American flags, and those kind of paraphernalia. And you just got people that's trolling and gaslighting and crying for attention. Right. You know, you may get one person on the liberal progressive side that's supposed to be so open-minded, but tries to ruin everything for you, yelling, screaming, spitting, cursing, and then you have to try to find ways to push them out. I think there's a few, conservative pundits that showed up. My friends in Blexit sent me some pictures of us on the on Fox News and some other live conservative podcasts, Roger Stone and things like that. So it was very fun. You know, I couldn't stay as long because I had to be here on Live One TV. But Donald Trump was supposed to come out of the court. They had a motorcade and
he did.
Andrew Giuliani. Well, I was on the train. I didn't see it. So I was trying to get here. Yeah. So Andrew Giuliani was there in support. But you have to take notice at Collect Pond Park. It's called down there on Lafayette.
Is this where Alvin Bragg's office is? Can you tell me where is it?
It's on Center Street and Lafayette down there. You got to take the, let's say 6th train to Canal Street, walk down between City Hall and Canal Street.
Is it near One Police Plaza?
Yes, it's north of there.
Okay.
And so when you're there, people like me have been in that park since 2022 protesting Alvin Bragg for all the bail reform. And Madeline Brame, our New York State Director of Blexit, you know, her son was murdered, and his office let his killers out, and we've been fighting in the winter since 2022. Lee Zeldin, Jose Alba, and things like that nature. So it's not new for me. But the first time they had the big rally when Trump was arrested, and you know, there's a whole huge pro-Trump side, and there was a whole huge liberal progressive side on the other side. Now, at that time, DJL7, he noticed as a Korean kid that, wow, Dion, there's more people of color, minority, black people on the right side than on the liberal progressive side. So fast forward to this year, we have more people on the right side and only a few trinkles of liberal progressive socialists on the other side. So my friend said, Dion, you know, they must didn't have the budget because most of those people get paid for this, and it seems though there's no grant money involved, you know.
Yeah, a lot of the activists are being paid off and whatnot. But DJ Elf, hopefully he'll be in on our next Capital Mouse House broadcast. He's very active, and I was checking out his social media platform. I called him this morning. But was he down there today?
No, he wasn't down there
today. All right, so this was, we're talking about, of course, Donald Trump has actually made a personal appearance this morning for the case related to Stormy Daniels, or as I call it, the Big Melons case.
Hush. Hush.
Yeah, a hush money case. You know, so I guess if you're very religious, Donald Trump, it looks like maybe he did sin in that, but we'll have to see. It seems like the DA is really taking this to the extreme for this, but we'll see how it plays out, right?
One of the consistent questions I was asked, everybody's asked, is, well, do you think Trump is going to get a fair trial? You know, do you think this will affect the voting decision pattern? And I said, of course. It's going to go up. And then you see the interviewer's face go, I was like, yes, you know, that's what I believe. This is making him more popular, making him more infamous. Do you think Trump is going to go to jail? What happens if Trump goes to jail? Well, then that's great. He's going to get out of jail and still be president. And then you can see the look of these reporters and interviewers, if they're liberal progressive media, how they're faced with just, Sabby Sabs, who's another YouTuber, she said an MK Ultra moment where it's like it does not compute when people like me tell it to them.
Yeah, a lot of people are having a lot of trouble handling the fact that Donald Trump is getting more popular as a result of this, at least in some circles.
The black circles especially, because, you know, some of these interviewers, even though they're supposed to be impartial and objective, they're like, well, I don't understand, you know, aren't you? And they're trying to actually slant your opinion and guilt and shame you to all the historic racism and all this evilness. Right. But the memes are coming out now, like, you know, I'd rather deal with someone who's hurts my feelings verbally than literally kills my feelings like we're having right now. So this whole attack of Iran on Israel is really making more people, because we had interviewers from Israel and interviews from Palestine at the same time trying to absorb this phenomenon of pro-Trump. But everybody knows he had peace.
Hey, let's. I've been trying to put the New York Post into a segment on the show. You know, all right, so the New York Post, It is, it's not the New York Times, it's not the Wall Street Journal, but it is the paper years ago, your sort of morning paper for a lot of working class New Yorkers. You'd get the New York Post, you'd get your coffee and your bacon cheese, right?
Bacon, egg, and cheese. Like we said today, it's one word, bacon, egg, and cheese.
Did you have a bacon, egg, and cheese?
No, not today.
All right, but they are pretty damn good. And, you'd read your New York Post, and sometimes, you'd see some crazy story. Some mother put her kid in the trunk when she went shopping at Costco. Or you'd see all these crazy, tragedies that happen in family, murder and injuries, and they would be stories. And the Post doesn't make up those stories, right? They pretty much are reporting it as it comes in. And the Post did run the Hunter Biden story, and that was really great of them to do that. And every now and then I'll find a story and I'll go, that's pretty well written and whatnot. But if I got to look at the overall picture of the New York Post, I think it's the enemy of the United States. And really? I think, I really do.
You skipped over the Times, the Daily News.
Oh, no, they're right in there too.
Okay. I was like, what's going on? This episode,
no. I'm not skipping over the New York Times. The New York Times is a menace. It's
all the news.
Yeah, but what maybe later on we'll do. But what I'm getting at is, I think yesterday the New York Post said that Biden is closing the gap on Trump. Give me a break.
Yes.
That's a joke. I mean, I know there's a few diehard Biden people, but I think they're under 10% at this point. And the idea that Joseph Biden is closing in on Donald Trump is ridiculous. Maybe the Democratic Party, if they could get Gavin Newsom, for example. If Gavin Newsom starts to run, then maybe there'd be a story there. But the idea of Biden closing in on any poll, I mean, Rupert Murdoch, you ought to get the hell out of New York if you're going to keep this Post like that. And his son, what's his son's name? Lachlan. I'll tell you why I don't like the Post too if you go online. So you're scrolling down, you're reading your stories, and an ad pops up, right? And so you click on the ad, and what does it do? It takes you right back up to the top again. So the whole thing is a trick, and more they're having these stories like, what does Kim Kardashian really think of Meghan Markle's clothes? And these kind of really...
Page 6.
Yeah, page 6 stuff, but it's rather than just being a little, supplement to the news, they're putting more and more really stupid things in there, and I just hope that competitors get in there, like Live1.tv eventually.
Exactly. The independent media like this platform here is getting more and more popular online, and the New York Post and those moguls are going way down in mainstream media. But when it comes to New York Post, out of all the newspapers in New York City, it's considered the most conservative and right wing. Even though if you went to school, and education is very key, school choice, and you take basic journalism, you'll see sensationalism. You'll study the Rupert Murdoch Australian model of taking over the media and how it becomes a propaganda device like it is now. But it's not working, and reporters are having MK Ultra movements, so it's like, doesn't compute, black man like Trump, and so we have to keep pushing. But on the same token, at the rally today, I tell my conservative, white Irishman and some other people there that, you have to engage these people head on. Stop being all mainstream media, liberal commies. No, I want to talk to you. Talk positive, respectful. Keep hitting them, keep chipping away, keep chipping away. Don't curse them out. You have to engage the enemy head on. Don't retreat and go to your own media and stay in your echo chamber, but take the fight on head on.
Sometimes I feel like a little bit of a heroin addict with social media and whatnot and television. But one addiction I totally got off. I used to, 20 years ago, I used to like CNN. It just seemed like they put the camera on live all around the world. But now, I couldn't watch CNN.
It's all on Donald Trump.
I never watch it. I mean, unless somebody brings it to my attention because of something ridiculous.
Another YouTuber brings it to my attention. That's it.
That's YouTube, right. That's it. You're done with CNN?
I'm done with CNN. MSDNC and the rest of the gang.
CBS and ABC. It's just a big freaking joke.
And even NPR has sold out.
NPR, National Public Radio. Let me see if I can get it. And good morning. I'm Leonard Lopate here, and we're here at NPR, and for All Things Considered. Anyway, Leonard, we like you. It's too bad your managers are so messed up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't blame the puppet, blame the puppeteer.
Yeah, don't blame the puppet, but I like that. Blame the puppeteer.
So that's the way we're doing here, boys. Again, on Live One TV. You got to keep supporting us. We're chipping away. I know how to fight this dragon with a toothpick, and this is how. And you said earlier, people don't understand because this is a lifestyle. And it becomes a habit, becomes a hobby, becomes an obsession. Then you start to see the bigger picture about how something so small, pen being mightier than a sword, where you can make a difference.
Right, that's strategic, and Dion is a strategic consultant in these political affairs too. So I really appreciate you letting me know about this, because it is technical. I hope it's simplified in the future. So let's just see. Is there? I know that you're going downtown now. I'm going to come with you. Is there anything else? I have one last thing to say that might be interesting for people. But do you have something you want to say before we wrap up?
I would like to say the following: that right now, Robert F. Kennedy, I used to work for the Super PAC back in the day. He's coming more into focus in the media. I don't know if you've seen it. Because the Democrats are very worried that his numbers are the X factor of this election because it's going up. But I'll close by saying this, not to trigger you, he still, because I'm on E-Blast, has yet to get Secret Service protection. So prayers up again for Robert F. Kennedy as the fourth branch of government is being turned and putting him in the spotlight in certain infamy to try to, change the narrative that he's trying to spoil the election. Like milk.
Yeah, and I'm just freaking out because I think it's disgusting that they haven't given him super secret protection.
That's what he needs.
Yeah, he does need it. It's disgusting who's ever making those decisions in the hollow Biden administration. All right, let's leave people with something that's kind of an unusual thing. Did you know that last week, or maybe 10 days ago, the government awarded weapons manufacturer Northrop Grumman.
Not Lockheed Martin?
Well, they're probably involved in it, but Northrop Grumman, a contract to build a railroad on the moon.
Yes, we did talk about that. Is there a part two?
Yeah, well, I did learn a little bit more about it. The lunar railroad will be manned by robots, and they are going to be extracting cesium from the lunar surface. And I learned that from my interview with President Weed. Actually, sometimes you get information from unconventional sources, but I did a little background check, and you can too. It's true. The government has awarded a contract to build a railroad on the moon. You don't have health care, but we're building a railroad on the moon.
Well, hopefully we'll see you there one day.
All right, wrap it up here for us.
All right, thanks you guys for again here at the Capitol Mouse House, here live One TV. My brother Ian Carpenter, and I'm Dion Powell. And hopefully we'll see you soon. And don't forget, you better think before you vote.